Omae wa moshiteru. My name is G, and this is our first video. In this video, we will interview an international student from Mongolia who's been studying and living here in Japan for the last 3 years. We'll talk about her experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, Oyuka! Today we have Oyuka, an international student here in Japan, studying in Japan for almost what?
3 years, yes.
What made you decide to study in Japan?
Japan is Asian country and not so far from Mongolia. In Mongolia, we say Japan, think about 2 words, polite and quality. Japanese people are very kind and also Japanese products are very good quality.
So no one forced you to go. So many other countries. You've been in Japan for how long?
I've been here for 3 years studying.
With no vacation?
I go back to my country once a year.
For how long, usually?
Usually 2 weeks. Actually, master course students, then usually we don't have any vacation. If I say to my teacher I want to go home, and then it's okay. Before I came to Japan, just one time I went to China, but it's just 3 days. I didn't have any experience to go to live in abroad or to study. My first experience.
Was it a goal? Do you want to experience living alone in a foreign country?
Yes. When I finished my high school, then I thought I want to live alone.
Independent?
Yes, independence. I live with my family until finishing my high school. Then when I entered university, I was living in the dormitory, but not alone.
You had a roommate?
A roommate.
You really want to experience living alone?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's a good experience. Just trying to live alone. The first 1 year was tough. Sometimes I feel lonely and I feel sad. And then also when I came here, I didn't understand also Japanese. Then it's a little hard to find any friends. I was studying it's kind of like chemistry, but my research was about air pollution in Mongolia. There's some air pollution in Ulaanbaatar. Ulaanbaatar is the capital of Mongolia. In Mongolia during winter time it's very cold, and people living in Ulaanbaatar they are using much coal in winter. Coal, yes, because of the
for heat.
For heat, yes, because of the using much coal, and there is an air pollution in winter. So I was studying about that.
You were studying about the pollution?
Yeah, air pollution in my home country. In Mongolia, last almost decade years, the air pollution is a serious problem. Now it's less, but still
a problem.
Yeah, still a problem.
What do you think? Is there something you can do about it? Is there something the Mongolians can do about it?
Of course, in Mongolia, from the government or many people, they are doing many kind of projects to reduce air pollution. Government banned for using raw coal. Then instead of using raw coal, now they are using low emission coal. It's really kind of
What's the
for
difference?
fish. Low emission coal means they
It doesn't
produce less
pollution.
emission, less pollution. The result is it's getting better. It's getting better. It's just not about the coal, and also Mongolians using, for example, used old cars. They using old cars for many years, and also it's related to waste, burning of waste, not just one thing. There is many, and I think we all Mongolians really care about what we are using for daily life.
For 3 years in Japan, how was the overall experience? How was it the first year? It was probably sad. I think everyone has the same problem when they move to other places or they start living alone.
Yes,
But the experience is different. Like, did you cry?
Yeah, it happens sometimes. I think the problem is when I came to here, I didn't understand so much Japanese. I didn't know the language. I don't find any friends. Then I started to study Japanese language.
Yeah, how did you study?
Actually, I didn't go to Japanese language school, but in my university, there was a Japanese language course, short-term course. Then I went there for 3 months, and I was studying basic Japanese. Then after that, I was still studying Japanese myself. Of course, in my university, the Japanese students are not so talkative. If I start some conversation, they will answer my question. Yeah, it was really short conversation, just then finish. Then I studying Japanese little by little. It's getting better to speak and to talk. Yeah.
Do you have any Japanese?
Yeah, I have now. I have
In your
some
school?
friends in my school. Our culture is so different. Even we are same Asian country, but the culture is so different in Mongolia and Japan.
The culture is so different. You weren't shocked, like culture shock.
Yeah, I had many culture shock when I first time came to Japan.
Like what? Since being here in Japan, what's the most difficult thing you've encountered so far?
Yeah, before I said it was
It was the language.
First language problem. First few months, the living alone was also. Sometimes I feel lonely. I miss my family, usually in the bedtime when I sleep. I miss my family a lot. When I was in Mongolia, I usually live with my family. There is at least 3 or 4 people living in one apartment. We talk and laugh together. It was very warm situation. Yes. Then suddenly
You're
alone.
What did you find about Japan that's, how do you say, convenient or easy?
There is
Something you wish that Mongolia has?
yes. There is many things.
Like what?
My first thought was it was very clean outside, very clean, and people are very polite. And one thing I surprised when I go out shopping or something, the people always say ありがとうございます They say much than すみません or ありがとうございます They say much. In Mongolia we don't usually actually we don't say don't say much thank you or something.
Well, they don't
just
talk?
Yeah, they talk but not same as Japan.
Not so polite.
Not so polite. Just yeah, high standard place. Yeah, they say.
Like here, even if you go to a simple place, if they don't talk to you politely, you can get mad at them, right?
Yeah.
For 3 years, you've been living in Japan. Have you tried working in Japan? Like,
first time my first time job was sushi restaurant.
yeah.
Or sushi-san. And I also saw how Japanese people yes, and their drinking style and when I'm working in the sushi restaurant, usually we wear the yukata. Japanese people saw my name, then they understand I'm foreigner. Then usually they ask, where are you from? Then when I say I'm from Mongolia, sometimes they ask really interesting questions for me. Like, do you ride a horse? Can you ride? Or sometimes can you go to your school by horse? Actually, some people also ask, do you have a high building in Mongolia?
Yeah, I know someone who will ask you that. Well, it's not really usual that we meet Mongolians in Japan.
Yeah,
right?
usually they said I'm from Mongolia, and they said you are the first person.
It's rare.
Yeah.
You're rare. Japanese people, they come from Mongolian descent, right? All of us have Mongolian blood.
Yeah,
that's
I
why
heard that.
when we're born, our butts this mark.
Yeah, this blue mark.
Thank you. How do you say it?
Genghis Khan. Also, one interesting thing, when Japan people say sheep mutton, Genghis Khan.
For the record, Genghis Khan was a king, right?
He was the king of Mongolia. Yes. We really respect the Genghis Khan in Mongolia. In Japan, Genghis Khan, they just think meat.
Have you participated in any Japanese holidays?
Matsuri.
Matsuri.
Just Hanami and Hanabi. Hanabi is during summertime. Yeah, actually there was one bad. One day I was there was one guy also riding a bicycle. When we crossed, he was standing his bicycle and he flashed to me. Japanese hentai.
Hentai.
When I go home, I'm still shaking. I called to my friend about that.
What did your friend say?
Yeah, she said I also encountered that kind of thing.
Really?
Just calm down and breathe deeply.
Hentai. When you were first year, second year?
Maybe I came here in first year.
That was during your first year.
Yeah, during first year.
If there's a way you can rewind those 3 years, right, would you still go to Japan? Would you repeat everything?
I definitely say yes.
Before we finish this, if you can give the people who wants to, well, study in Japan, go in Japan, work in Japan, come to Japan. If there's anything you want to say to them.
Japanese people follow their rules very good, and I think they are very honest, and they don't like to lie to like just follow the rules and be kind. If just do these basic things, I think it's here is no problem to study or to live. I think it's there's a very nice people waiting for you.
This is the first video that we made. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. In Japanese, arigato!